And we got, looks like from IGN, a 11.5 minute or so interview talking a little bit more about the game. So let's turn this up and see what we got.
Augmented human.
Gonna turn on CC's.
What's up, everyone? My name is Mitchell Saltzman, and today I'm joined remotely all the way from Japan by producer Yasunori Ogura to talk all about Armored Core 6. How are you?
Hi there, I'm great, thank you. I'm Yasunori Ogura from Fromsoftware, producer on Armored Core 6. It's great to be here.
How long has Armored Core 6 been in development, and what has it been like for Fromsoftware to return to this franchise that was such a big part of the company for such a long time?
So we have been cultivating development staff through our recent titles, and there were many members of staff, including Miyazaki and myself, who've wanted to make a new Armored Core game for a long time. So really, not making a new Armored Core was never really an option. It was a case of when rather than if. As to the game's direction and development, in around
You love to hear that.
Miyazaki and some core members of the team began initial direction and forming the basic core concept of AC6. And after prototyping was complete, our director Yamamura took over on the project. However, as you know, we have several projects going on at the same time within the company, so we had to get an ideal allocation of resources
Looks
to
so
get the right
cool.
stuff on board, which resulted in a slightly longer wait, but we're happy to finally bring a new Armored Core to our fans.
So, can you tell us a little bit about the story of Armored Core 6 and whether newcomers will be able to jump right into this entry if they haven't played any of
Of
it?
course they'll be able to.
This is a brand new story and has no direct link to previous titles. AC6 takes place in a future where
Why
interstellar
would they?
travel
Why
is
would they do that?
commonplace, not on Earth, but on a fictional planet in a distant star system called Rubicon 3. Rubicon is a
Look, they struck gold with Elden Ring and brought in so many players that have never played any of their games, got introduced to From Software with Elden Ring, and now they're dropping this bad boy. They're not gonna make you feel stupid for not playing the other games in this series. They want to capitalize on that fame, that Elden Ring hype, so much more with this game is what I'm thinking. Why they decided to do a whole brand new thing. I don't know how much people care about the last Armored Core games. I've never played any of them. I'd heard of them, but I'd never played any of them. So I mean, I don't really know. But yeah, that's not a game that was available to me when I was younger. Any of those games, really.
devastated planet that was razed to ash in a great disaster caused by the outbreak of a mysterious new substance called coral.
Activating cerebral coral control device.
Which occurred half a century before the events of the game take place. At the outset of the game and the story, the player learns that coral, which was thought lost in this great disaster, has been rediscovered, and extraterrestrial corporate forces have begun an invasion race to acquire the rights to this mysterious and powerful new substance. So they are at conflict with the indigenous forces who are resisting their invasion on the planet Rubicon. And the player, as a lone independent mercenary and AC pilot, is thrust
The music
into
thing.
Rubicon for the coral.
You guys hearing this music behind the this interview, dude? Just making it's all metal as shit, man. It's like, how am I getting pumped up for an interview? God, they know what they're doing. Tang, this Miyazaki didn't direct that, so that means no bear lady. Well, hold on. Let's not just because he didn't direct, let's not give him credit. I mean, he runs the company. I mean, if his vision wants to be, if he wants to sprinkle a little bit of that foot fetish into the Armored Core 6, he will do so. I mean, they do say augmented humans. What we might see is some like metallic robot lady feet, similar to like an Atomic Heart situation. Maybe. Well, let's continue on.
So although AC6 is a numbered title, the setting and story are completely new, and we believe it makes a great first entry into the series for newcomers and old fans alike.
We're close to Rubicon. Wake the dog up.
So let's talk a little bit about
Robot lady feet.
Rubicon as a setting.
Let's
Is there
talk
anything
about
that's unique
the dog.
to the planet that will
Are we the
offer
dog?
kind of unique mission structures that people haven't seen in the Armored Core series previously?
There are
If this
two
isn't a
things
real
we
interview,
would like to convey to
time out. If this isn't a real interview, why did they keep the stutter in there?
both newcomers and old hands to the series. Armored Core.
Why didn't they just make him ask the
offers
question
two
again?
Game experiences. First is this dynamic, three-dimensional action that can only be achieved with mix. And the second is the ability to customize.
How much do they
your
pay
own
for
personal
this?
AC by
Checkmate.
combining multiple parts.
It's real.
And decorating it to your liking with painting and decals and the like. So these player-assembled, player-controlled ACs are able to fly freely through the air and handle multiple weapons simultaneously and turn on a dime, dash in different directions at once. This makes for a dynamic and very aggressive.
That's like what I was saying earlier, what it
makes
looked
full
like.
Use of the three-dimensional space, and we feel that this has always been an appeal of the Armored Core series.
It's
and
dope.
certainly will
It's
make
pretty
it
dope.
genre.
For die-hard Armored Core fans, what are the elements of Armored Core 6 that those hardcore fans are going to find appealing about this game?
With AC6, one area we focused on was to make sure that the customization aspect is not just about parameters going up and down and numerical values changing, but how these changes are reflected in the feel of the action as much as possible. In particular, the leg parts, which control the AC's movement, you might have a tank type legs that can perform drift turns, and this changes the very basic behavior and traversal type of the AC. We also made sure that the
Sick.
behavior of weapons, such as the way they shoot, how they recoil, how their projectiles behave, we tried to make sure that this all makes a big difference in how the game feels.
So with the tank type, when they're talking about the tank type here and really utilizing the space, is the tank bottom, obviously it looks like there's, some thrusters here. You can kind of see them popping out. Can this thing fly just however it wants as well, just like slower? Or is this just going to be a ground-based mech and you can play the game completely from the ground the entire time? I don't know if they're going to talk about that, but it's interesting.
Drift turns, and this changes the very basic behavior and traversal type of the AC. We also made sure that the behavior of weapons, such as the way they
Smell,
shoot,
it looks freaking
how they
awesome. Yeah,
recoil,
this
how
looks
their
sick.
projectiles behave. We tried to make sure that this all makes a big difference in how the game
August.
plays.
Wow.
So, speaking a little bit about that customization, Armored Core games have a bit of a reputation for being very complex, with many stats to consider, parts to swap in and out. Is there anything else that you guys are planning on doing with Armored Core 6 to make it a little more approachable for newcomers who might not be used to that level of complexity?
No,
As you mentioned,
we hate
Armored
noobs.
Core has always been a game with
Get good.
many parameters and is a game where you can enjoy the complexity and depth it offers. But we feel it's also a game where you can enjoy simply by assembling your AC without thinking too deeply about it, and adjust the appearance to your liking and simply get out there and pilot it and take it into combat. That said, in regard to new players, we've taken careful steps with the onboarding and level design in the early stages of the game, so that players can deepen their understanding step by step, little by little, and work their way into that fun of the more complex parts. We've also prepared a training simulator where the player can learn the basics of action and assembly using sample ACs, and we've also tried to make the controls more intuitive, so that we hope that those
Boom.
who have no experience with the series will feel free to enter and enjoy the feel of piloting their very own Armored Core.
Are there any lessons that you guys have learned over the many years you've spent developing the Souls games that you take into the development of Armored Core 6?
All
even
of
though
it.
they're kind of two very different genres?
We've got massive
Armored Core 6
penises.
is an attempt to take both the knowledge and experience gained from the development of our previous titles.
We crush
and
it.
Combine it with the fun of mech customization that the AC series has always
Good
embraced.
Lord.
And in this sense,
They
we
just
hope to
don't
create
miss.
A new mech action game.
Are they ever gonna
is worthy
miss?
of modern Fromsoftware standards. Specifically, we're developing this game with an awareness of the things that Fromsoftware has always embraced in its other action games, such as a intricate map structure, combat design that allows players to deal with enemies by carefully observing their movements, and the ability to overcome challenging situations with ingenuity and creativity. These are all, of course, things
You'd love to hear that.
combined with AC6 as well. However, as you mentioned,
We
the
basically
basic
just thought
format
about
and genre of Armored
how
Core
we'd
is
make it the
completely
best game
different
ever.
from games in, for instance, the Souls lineage. So there are no aspects of the game mechanics or gameplay.
It looks so beautiful, too. Just metal
Can you talk
and
a little bit
movement.
about your goals with the combat design, and are there any kind of mechanics that players should know about that perhaps didn't exist in previous Armored Core games?
In terms of points we focused on this time
Absolutely.
around, I would say that individuality
hell yeah.
of the melee weapons is one of the key points. Armored Core is mainly a shooting game at heart, and that's exactly why we had this policy of having more unique melee weapons this time around. So in addition to the well-known pile bunker and the cluster bomb launcher that you might have seen in the trailer, there are also a variety of weapons with different animations and more unconventional characteristics, such as a chainsaw and a laser lance, and things like this. In the trailer, you may have also seen a part where the core is deployed by an AC to generate a shockwave, and the pile bunker is then used against an opponent who is reeling back from this shockwave. This kind of building combos with multiple weapons aspect is an appeal of AC6's unique assembly and combat, and we hope the players will enjoy using their creativity
There it
and
is.
asking themselves, what combination of weapons can I use to create my ideal combo attacks and secure victory?
So is there any
God,
one new
so
thing, whether
cool.
it's a mechanic or a mech part or a weapon, that you're particularly proud of and are excited for players to experience in Armored Core 6?
I'd like players to mostly look forward to something we touched on earlier, which is this using their ingenuity and creativity to create a combination of their own making, and a combination of the various parts and weapons at their disposal. So, for example, they might be dashing across the battlefield while shooting ballistic weapons and letting missiles fly in every which direction. These missiles will connect with their enemy, knock them off balance, and then they'll use their assault boost to dash in with a quick burst of speed and finish with a melee strike. This kind of player-created combo and their own unique combination of weaponry and
Seems like kind of
ability
an
will allow for this new aggressive, offensive style of AC combat, and we hope this is something that reinvigorates the series and that new and old fans alike can enjoy.
Multiplayer has always been a big part of the Armored Core series. Is there anything you can tell us about multiplayer in Armored Core 6?
So I believe ACV was more focused on multiplayer as the last title in the series, but first of all, the main content of AC6 is positioned as a single-player campaign mode where you progress through
Not
a
surprised.
traditional mission structure. There will be an online PvP mode where players can compete against each other with ACs they have built and
That's
share
crazy.
their AC data and emblems of their own making with
That'll be cool.
but first and foremost, the story missions in AC6 are single player only. We would like
I mean,
players to
we're not
learn
gonna
their
be any good. We'll get
the
destroyed,
lone
but it'll be
mercenary
cool.
lifestyle and enjoy this aspect of the game first and foremost. We do hope to share more details about the online aspect at a later date, so please stay tuned for that.
Let's see how far they can fly.
Dude, like,
Bird wings.
All right, well, that about wraps it up. Ogura-san, thank you so much for your time. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon is set for release this August 25th on
Rubicon.
PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC.
The Fires of
Thanks for watching, and for
Rubicon.
everything else, keep it right here on IGN.
bam. Okay. Sheesh, dude. Okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal. That looks incredible. That's what's going on. It looks absolutely incredible. DaddyMac, you said some people say DS2 was a miss. Yeah, but was it really? Yeah, laser lance, a freaking electric whip. Like, wow. Wow. That shit looks beyond sick. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, how many different pieces are we talking about here? We're talking about sharing our armored cores, whatever's, like blueprints, and like, how much? How much? I mean, and how broken is it gonna be, multiplayer wise? Gotta have a version of the Moonlit Greatsword. It's in all their games. Yeah. Yeah. That looks sick. That looks sick. That's one, I think, that's one you can be excited about. Robot Lady Fee.